Okay, we have begun recording. So I'll begin with a question. How do education abroad, employability, and climate change connect? I want you to keep this question in mind as we discuss what you can do about climate change while learning abroad. So to begin, is it actually really a problem? It helps when you go abroad if you can travel by plane, but that can trigger flight shaming sooner or later. It hasn't really become a thing in the US yet, but it's growing. So is traveling by plane such a big deal? I want to test your understanding about the climate and transportation emissions with a poll. Okay, we're almost done. Okay, so basically all of the above, everything is happening and probably even more that we haven't observed. For question number 2, what percentage of the global greenhouse gas emissions does the transportation sector emit? You guys got pretty close. Who responded to 14%. I appreciate that you think it's worse at 33 and definitely at 70, but 14% is enough. And there are the results for you. So basically, getting on a plane does matter. As you can see from the screen in front of you, more students than ever before are learning outside their university, and even climate scientists themselves struggle to reduce their carbon footprint. So what can you do? And nothing, apparently, in this context is safe from our concerns about the climate, as even our phones are now the focus of a new book asking how green is your smartphone by UCR's own Toby Miller. So what then can you do, individually on your own or collectively together with others, before you go abroad, while you're there, and when you return, to ensure the world is better off for you having taken a flight? Well, you can do a lot. Before you go, you can research what it means to travel sustainably and ethically. These links will take you to an article and website that can help get you started. I will share tips throughout this session from various resources, and we'll email the presentation afterwards so you can explore these sites on your own. It's important you do the research on your own because this is an independent journey and an individual one, but it's got a collective aspect. So as this climate scientists try to do, you can also calculate your carbon footprint and offset it. These sites, again, will help get you started. Before you go, you're going to research your programs. You can choose destinations like Costa Rica that demonstrate how much our Mother Earth matters through action, or you can select a program that focuses on sustainability. UCAP has several to choose from, which are highlighted in the blog linked here. Additionally, you can reduce your carbon footprint by not getting on a plane at all and choosing to learn closer to home. Options for that include living and interning in the federal or state capital, with the University of California programs in Washington, D.C. or Sacramento, or you could participate on a domestic away program like our faculty-led program next summer in biology that explores the California natural reserves. Options even closer to home include learning online with students living in other countries. You can do this via virtual courses or internships, which can be found by searching for virtual in our application portal, My UCR Abroad. While you may be zoomed out from learning online lately, these virtual programs are a step beyond what you experience at the moment. If money is tight and crossing a border is not an option, consider learning or interning online in the economy you will join soon. Such experiences have value. So after you've determined where you're going to go and what you'll study, when you're abroad, you can continue working on climate change. For example, you can take the pledge to green your travel, details for which can be found on the site linked here. You can also become a student journalist with Survival Media and document climate change wherever you are learning abroad. Additionally, you can buy local wherever you go. You can contribute locally to causes that matter to the people who live there. And hopefully that contribution can go beyond money and involve your time and skills. By connecting with your local community outside the classroom, you will meet people you may not have met otherwise, thereby expanding your network while you do good for their community. So let's talk about that network. While you're abroad, you're going to meet people. You can connect with them in a variety of ways, but I recommend you use a professional network like LinkedIn to collect details from a new acquaintance. By connecting there, you expand your professional network and make a point that your contacts matter to you beyond this brief experience abroad. Why is this important? Because learning abroad strengthens the skills needed in an economy marked by rapid change like the one we have now. The report linked here provides details that may prove useful in convincing your family that your plans to go abroad are not just an expensive vacation, but a chance to make a difference in your life personally and professionally, as well as the lives of others. And once you get back, you'll want to talk about your time away to anyone who will listen. To increase the impact of your stories about learning abroad, I recommend you capture what mattered about your experience on your LinkedIn account by discussing what skills were strengthened by that experience. Details on those skills can be found in the employability report linked in this presentation. You can also connect with other students in our Education Abroad network via LinkedIn. While we began this group at UCR, it is open to any interested student. Other organizations which can help you share your experiences are Lessons from Abroad and your Campus Career Center. You can research both before you go so that upon your return, you're ready to take these steps to benefit from your experience away. And while you're connecting those experiences to your future career, you can also connect with sustainability projects back home. The links included here can get you started, but many more exist out there. And I am confident you can find a project that matters to you. So let's go back to the initial question. How do education abroad, employability, and climate change connect? As I mentioned earlier, learning abroad strengthens a number of skills, making it more likely you'll get a good job after you graduate in an economy that changes quickly and expects us to change with it. That global economy you are joining includes people from all over the world, some of whom you would now be connected with because you stretched your limits and learned outside of your classroom. That network can help you individually, and it can help us all collectively. When something happens to people you know, you care about it. When people you care for suffer a climate crisis event, you are more likely to do something. And that something has more impact the more people you involve. Some posit that climate change will be solved globally, that individually we can move the needle somewhat, but to truly address these issues, we will have to do it together, collectively, as global citizens, protecting a common good. So if I were to sum this up as a t-shirt, it would read, go abroad, get a job, and save the world. So this concludes our presentation, and we are now open for questions. I want to thank our former student intern, Katie Abazadze, for her contributions to this presentation. She's a sustainability major at UCR. She just graduated, and she has a lot of good thoughts about how you can learn abroad and save the world at the same time. So if we do not answer any of your questions here, please do send us an email at sorry, I messed up the email address, educationabroad@ucr.edu, or drop by our chat room. And while we discuss your questions, I want to stop the share and give you one final poll to answer. So does anyone have any questions they want to ask here verbally or in the chat about what this means to like save the world and get a job at the same time?
Dr. Andrews, there is one question. Kate Johnson would like to know, will they be able to see the poll that they took at the beginning? She's curious to see who else is here too.
You mean who else is in the presentation, or? Yeah, not sure what the actual
clear
question is. Kate, can you ask that again?
So Macy, part of the question in terms of seeing the poll from the beginning, no, you won't be able to see the poll from the beginning, but because we are in a Zoom meeting and not a webinar, you should see everyone if you're not calling in. So if you're connecting through your computer, you should already be able to see who's on the call.
Yeah, thank you, LaSharon. Katie, do you want to share any thoughts about why this matters for you as a student?
Of course. I did study abroad, mentioned before. I went abroad when I was in high school, and that was when my first international education abroad experience was, and that really inspired me to continue being in education abroad, whether that's going abroad again or working in the office, which is what I did. So I didn't get a chance to study abroad at UCR, which I do regret. It would have been definitely an incredible experience that could have contributed to my professional profile a lot more. But my experience abroad in high school helped me be an advocate for education abroad, helped me gain the job that I did in education abroad as a student assistant. And that position has taught me so much that led me to my next career, which I have right now at a software engineering company called Esri. So with Esri, I'm still pushing sustainability. I'm learning how organizations utilize software to help with climate change problems. So because I studied sustainability, it was something I was very passionate about from UCR. I really didn't think I was going to get a job straight out of college into a position like that, where I'm still able to learn about sustainability and help make the world a better place. But I was able to get this position, and I genuinely think it was because of my experience abroad. I was able to talk throughout my interview about what it was like being in Italy, where I studied abroad, what it's like to be from a different country, which is Georgia, and how that has shaped me into who I am today. So this conversation I've been having since 2015, and I'm definitely not going to stop anytime soon. I'm always going to bring up the fact that I went abroad and how that matters and what you can learn from being a global citizen. It still makes a difference, especially right now with all the issues that we're seeing with the climate and honestly, all the issues that we're going to be seeing. So it's important to talk about, and it's important to understand that it's only going to get worse if we don't make a difference. And this has definitely helped contribute to that a little bit. Any questions?
Yeah, thank you for that, Katie. I appreciate that. See how she linked that to her job? She's not just bullshitting. It really did happen. So keep it in mind. This does enhance your career. Apologies for the profanity. Isabella has a question. What are ways to travel sustainably to another country? Is it only through flights? If so, what flights are the best to take? Isabella, when you get the copy of the presentation, look through the links, because there are discussions about various airlines that offset their carbon footprint in some ways, or have other sustainability principles that they act on. This is where the research is going to be important. By supporting certain businesses and not supporting others, it can take a while for that to impact a business, but it does matter to them. So the more you green your travel, the more other businesses are going to take notice. We're in this for the long haul. Yeah, these are all little steps we can all take together. They accrue to change. So again, for your flights, check on the airlines. Do they have a sustainability practice that they truly pursue? Is there a way to offset your carbon by actually spending money, which I would hope that there's some other way to do it than that. But
I would also like to add, going abroad, you can do so many things personally that will help the environment, like try not to use single-use plastic, make sure you carry a water bottle with you. It's different wherever you go. Some countries have different water systems and other countries do, so that's something you have to take into consideration. I always want to make sure to say that it's important to understand where you are, learn about the local economy, how you're spending your money while you're abroad, what their waste management system looks like. If you're going to recycle, how is that going to impact the community? Or if you're going to throw away your trash, you have to kind of look at that. Like I said, it's different for each country. Some countries are more complex than others when it comes to their systems, but education before you go, like researching, all of those things are really important, and that could definitely help. Yeah. Great question.
yeah, thanks for that, Katie. Any other questions that we haven't addressed yet that we can help with? I want you all to get this t-shirt. I very much want the world to be saved. I was thinking about it today, and the thought is if you don't have a home, there's actually no place you can travel to. So for all of y'all to travel and explore the world sustainably, we need to protect it. We need to do better. I think you all know that. Do we have any other questions that want to be shared in the chat, or anybody want to unmute themselves and let us know if they have any remaining question we haven't addressed? I realize to a large degree we skimmed the surface about the tips, but the purpose there was for you to look at the presentation afterwards and do your own exploration. You're all individuals again, and what's going to matter to you is going to vary. We wanted this to be helpful during, but also after the fact.
One more thing to add, I think it's also very important to vote. So that's something that we can push for. If climate change or environmentalism is something you're passionate about, definitely vote, and that's going to make a big difference.
Yeah, thank you for mentioning that, Katie. Rock the vote. On this note, we can go ahead and finish the session. Students are already departing, so I think that hopefully they found it useful and that the follow-up will be as well. Thank you all for being here with us today. And Katie, thank you very much for joining.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.